Yo, what's up guys, how's it going? This is Ahmed from Coded Up. In the previous video I've already configured different websites on the Apache server, but there's one thing that we forgot to do, which is talking about the ports, because by default all the servers or the websites are served on port 80, but we can actually change this, and this is what we're going to be doing on this video, and also kind of monitoring how Apache handles these services, these requests I mean. Okay, so first let's change our directory to etc Apache, and let's now, for example, open one of the sites that we had, which is like sudo nano. Here we have sites available, and let's go for example com, for example. Okay, so as you can see here at the first line, which says that we are actually serving all the IP addresses on this virtual machine, and we're listening to port 80. So let me actually change this port to 90 and see what will happen. So now our website should respond to requests on port number 80. Okay, so let me hit Control S, Control X, and now it should kind of work, right? So by default all the servers, all the Apache servers work on port 80. So if we go now here on the client side and curl, for example, server, here we don't have actually to specify the example.org, because by default it's the only one listening to this port. So here if I wrote 90 and hit enter, as you can see, failed to connect, because on the other side, on the server side, Apache is not listening to the request sent to port 80, because to actually print which ports we're listening to, we can use the lsof command with the IP version 6, because actually Apache uses IP version 6 for its requests. And I've made a typo because we don't have type V, and we need sudo to see actually the output. And as you can see, by default it's not showing the port, because by default it's port 90, port 80 I mean. So how to actually enable this? For that we're going to be using the port file which we have right here in this current directory, nano, and we have ports. And as you can see, by default we only listen to port 80. For example, here let me add port 90 and like port 443, and just save it and reload the configuration now. System ctl reload Apache 2 service. Now let's get back there and hit now curl request, and as you can see it's already working. It's returning our page. And for this also, if we actually try to make this request from our browser, here from the Firefox for example, it should also work. I'm going to explain in a minute why it's working. Okay, so here let's type server. I also have the server name binded to the IP address of the virtual machine, and here let me type 90, and it's showing us hello world from com. While indeed type port 80, if I type port 80 it's going to be showing us the one on the DNS server. It's showing us also this one. This is actually because I've edited the host file on my main machine also. Okay, I actually forgot I did so. Well, anyway, this is how to make a machine or like a website response for a specific request on a specific host. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be going over this video is to see how actually Apache manages to work with these requests. Okay, because you can see many users can be using our websites. We have different websites. Each website is listening to a specific port, for example. So how can we like see what's actually going on here? Okay, so for this I'm going to use the htop command, which shows us all the running processes on our machine, and I'm going to now hit Control 4 for filter. I want to only see the processes that are called Apache 2, as you can see at the bottom, and now hit enter. These are all the Apaches, these are all the processes with the Apache word inside of them. Okay, and I'm going to change to the view to tree by hitting F5. As you can see, we have here one main process, which is the this is the main pair ID. We're gonna remember actually this pair ID, we're gonna be talking about it later. It's 3373, and this process has like sub processes inside of it, and each sub process from these two, like these two sub processes, also have sub processes inside of them. You can call these sub processes threads. Okay, they're serving the clients connecting, and if I like remember there are around like 25 or 26, so in total it's like 50 threads up and running, serving the clients. Okay, so now let's just close this. I just want to show you because that we have many threads serving our clients. So now what I want to do is now I've seen this client side. Actually right now let's check the lsof or the I flag 6, and let's not forget the sudo. And as you can see here, we have Apache appeared on the port 90. This is the new port that we have specified. It has already I believe like 3 processes listening to this, and you can see this bit ID 3373. This is the main process that has been running. If we now run systemctl status Apache, as you can see, this is the main ID. This is the main process that has all these threads running inside of it. So if this process actually got interrupted, got terminated, got killed maybe, actually all these processes, all these threads will stop working. Okay. So now I want to also show you another example of how it serves the requests. So I'm going to using here curl, not curl actually, I'm going to using telnet. It's also a tool to make TCP connections like NC, but it's kind of has some more features. And here I'm going to specify the IP address of the server, and I'm going to specify the port, for example, let's say 90, okay, or 80, it doesn't matter. So now this connection is going to get closed, but anyway, let's run the same command that we had here. As you can see here, nothing special, nothing has changed. Now let me just close this connection. It tells us to close it this way. Okay. Okay. Well, actually, I closed the connection. Now let's open a new one and make a request. Get HTTP. I have to specify the path, and here let's say it's gonna HTTP version 1. And if you go here and we print, you can see actually a new process has been created. And this TCP connection process, okay, it's from the server. It's actually a server from the port 90. It's connecting to our local machine. This is the IP address of my client machine, and this is the IP address of this process on the not the IP address, not the process ID, but the ports to which we're connected on the client machine. Okay, so using this connection, we're going to be sending data. If we now print it again, it has vanished because the connection has probably closed. Yeah, as you can see. So this is how Apache manages requests. For each client connecting, it creates a specific process. We have like around 50. Of course, that's not a lot, but this is like a small server. It's not for production, so it doesn't matter. It's just for illustration purposes. But I just want to show you that for each client connecting to our website, we have a specific process, a specific thread serving it. Okay, so that's all for this video. Probably on the next video we're going to be starting to talk about authentication and authorization and how to make some restrictions on our pages. So that's all for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.